Hey, my name is Michael Wheeler. I'm the co-artistic director of Praxis Theatre, and the show's Section 98, March 13th, 8 p.m. at the Studio Theatre at Harbourfront. The show actually started being called something completely different. We put on a show with our company, Praxis Theatre. It was called Timbuktu, and it was mostly about communists in the 30s in Toronto, specifically theater-based communists, and a big show that they put on that a lot of people studying Canadian history called Eight Men Speak, which was a big protest play at the time. And so we put on a show that was mostly about these artist activists from the 30s and their play that was canceled by Prime Minister Bennett. And we thought it was interesting, but it didn't cover enough of the period. And so a big thing in that period was this law called Section 98, which basically was on the books from the Winnipeg strikes in 1917 and came off the books in the mid-30s. But there was a period where for 17 years the federal government could just put you in jail for not liking you, basically, and the law was called Section 98. So we decided to make a piece of theater that dealt with Section 98 kind of stuff throughout Canadian history. Practically, that means people can interact with the show in two ways that normally you can't interact with a piece of theater. One is, well, it's always through our website, but one is before and after. You can go online, and we have our whole creative process online, and by that I mean we've documented discussions that we've had, the things that we're trying to figure out. We've invited people to comment, like when we don't know things, we often ask via Twitter or Facebook, we don't know this thing, do you know the answer? And we've even had the Poet Laureate of Vancouver has donated a poem about civil liberties that people, we asked if they would like to respond to that, and maybe their response would make up part of the content of our show. So that's the first open source way, through the internet before and after the show. And then also we're inviting people to bring their cell phones to the show, and there's a way in which they can text into the show so that they can be involved in a discussion while the show's going on, and then they can look at that discussion afterwards, obviously. More like another workshop, actually. I think one of the things that we've realized that we really like about the structure of the show is that 2/3 of it should be about the same each time, and then 1/3 of it should always be about whatever contemporary issue about a Section 98 type situation is. And so with that in mind, right now, the stuff that should always be the same, we have communists in the 30s, and we have the War Measures Act and the FLQ in the 70s, but we think we should have more. So I think we want to look at a couple other situations where civil liberties, civil rights have been an issue in Canadian history, and build them up so that we're creating a template that anyone can use to talk about this stuff, no matter when they stage the play.